till it sounded like I had had a stroke. And then the medical establishment kicked in. Then they started paying attention. So they sent me in for every test there was. You know, every kind of picture they could take inside of my cabeza, they did it. And my diagnosis came on May 9th, 2006. It was my birthday. And so I'm sitting in a room with a very, very well-known and very esteemed neurologist, a movement specialist, and a whole bunch of people follow him around like penguins, right? And they're all sitting in this little room. And he tells me that I have oromandibular dystonia. Okay, so at this point, I can't even order a cup of coffee. So they might as well have called it rubber baby buggy bumpers, because I could not say oromandibular dystonia. But I didn't care what they called it. I want to know, okay, how do you fix it? Right? How do you fix it? Right, so this is me looking at them. Okay, so what do we do? It's not curable. So if you go online and look now, and this was almost 10 years ago, and it's been since 2001 since this started, and I think I found oromandibular dystonia online, I don't know, 20 years ago or something. I can't keep track. That might be right, in 2005. And it's been incurable since then. So it's still incurable. So that begs the question, right? What am I doing up here? Speaking incessantly and singing. How do you do this? And so the only thing they can do for you when you have dystonia is offer you Botox injections. They can give you medication too, but all the medication does is turn you into a zombie. So I took medication for 2 weeks, and I said, if I can't think, if I can't write, then I'm useless. So I did try Botox. And the curious thing is that for me, they didn't try to fix the initial problem, which was my voice. They didn't pay attention until I could talk. So there are people that I know of, lots of people, who are having the problem I had when I couldn't sing. And that's just as devastating as not being able to talk. But it's not as obvious as, when you go to order a coffee and people look at you, like you're special. It's not fun. But, there's a lot of growth involved. Okay, so that begs the question, what am I doing here? How did I get here? So I spent 10 years altogether not being able to sing, and about 6 not being able to speak. And I know during that time, I remember, Paul, you and your family coming out, and I was playing, I don't know, it used to be, wasn't the Lamb or no, what was it? Oh man, I don't know what it is now. Now it's a pool hall or something. It was down the road from Prince Eddie. Okay. No, the other way. So anyway, it doesn't matter. And I was playing there, and his family came out. And I'm trying to talk, and I have to just give up. I try, but I can't. I have to stop, because it's just too excruciating to try. So I had to stop. So I spent, by 2009, I actually was looking into to sign language to speak, because it was that bad. And someone gave me a special game that is given to the hearing impaired to learn how to do sign language. But then I was on my way home one night from a gig, because I could still play guitar, and I heard about something called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity. I couldn't say that either. And so they were talking about this case where this doctor, scientist, his father had a stroke. And it was a massive stroke. So he couldn't talk, he couldn't walk, he couldn't do anything. And instead of letting him go to the medical, through what they would have done with him, which is basically just shut him up and, you know, try to keep him alive, and that's it. He took his father home. And he did what might sound very cruel to him. If he wanted to go somewhere, he had to crawl. So he crawled. And he crawled. And then he started to lift himself up. And then he started to walk. And then he started to talk. And he had been a professor, and he went back to a full professorship, met a new bride, got married, and was a healthy, happy man. And it defies everything that he could do that. So then, when he was in his late 60s, he was climbing a mountain, and he had a heart attack. They did the autopsy on him, and they had a look in his brain. And they could see that around the parts of his brain that had been killed by the stroke, more brain matter had grown, more connections had grown. So it really defied everything, you know, that people thought at the time. And now people talk about neuroplasticity being a thing. And I know a lot more about it now than I did when I first heard about it. So I got all in on neuroplasticity. I looked at everything I could about it, researched it, and then I also happened to meet a guy who was he was a book publisher. He was kind of a cool guy. And I told him one time that I used to have, when I was for my entire life, I've had this nightmare where I can't talk. And he thought, well, that's pretty weird that you can't talk, and you've always had a nightmare that you can't talk. That's very strange. And I said, you know, now when I have nightmares, I can't talk. Like, I could talk in my dreams now, but before I couldn't. So it turns out this guy's a hypnotist. So I did some hypnosis with him. And after one session, I started to notice a change. I still had problems. I still could not sing. And I still had trouble with certain words. But I knew I was on the right track. So around this time, here's what's going on. So I've not been able, right after all this happened, I didn't have any way to make a living anymore. And I couldn't sing. I had debts coming out of the yin yang because I'd spent all kinds of money trying to get my voice back. And, you know, you're a musician, you're kind of on your own. So I went and worked in construction. That's what I did. And I just loved it. I thrived. Hitting stuff with a hammer. I loved it. I loved it like I love a boil, a good boil. A well-placed boil. So that's how I felt. Now, while this is going on, I happen to have written a song in 2000, I wrote this song for my kid. And I found out that Celine Dion's producer, David Foster, had heard this song. No kidding. Well, isn't that interesting? And then I found out that David Foster wanted Celine Dion to sing this song. Oh, really? Yeah, that's not what I thought. Every morning, please, 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 please. Every morning I got up, put on my tool belt, please, 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 please. And I never knew what was going to happen. Nobody told me anything about it. And then Celine Dion's record came out. My wife went to Walmart before I woke up in the morning. And she went and picked up this album. And she brought it home. And she put it on our little DVD or CD player and played me this song sung by Celine Dion. I will always love you, no matter what, no matter where you go, or what you do. And knowing you're gonna have to do things your own way, but that's okay, you're free. Spread your wings, promise me one thing. If you ever need a place to cry, baby, come to me. Come to me. I've always known that you were born to fly, but you can come to me. If the world breaks your heart, no matter where on earth you are, you can come to me. Don't walk around with the world on your shoulders and your eyes closed, laying on the ground. I know you think you gotta try to be my hero. Don't you know the stars you wish upon made for it's true, but I still believe in you. If you ever need a place to cry, baby, come to me. Come to me. I've always known that you were born to fly, but you can come to me. If the world breaks your heart, no matter where on earth you are, you can come to me. you, okay? So, and that saved me, because right after that, I took my tool belt and I put it in the basement, and that was the end of that. And that's just as well, because I was a horrible carpenter. I was terrible. And so then I got back